Before we continue with this video, I have some good news for you, okay? I said I wanted Everton Araújo to stay at Flamengo because I see a lot of potential in him. And Flamengo would have to go to the market, desperately sign a defensive midfielder and all that, and I think Everton could be very important this season. Araújo is young, he has incredible potential, okay? So we had mentioned here that Flamengo didn't want to negotiate the player, but now there's confirmation. GE confirmed our information, okay? Unfortunately, they didn't give us credit once again, but that's okay. It's part of the game, man. I'm already tired of complaining about this, so I'm just bringing you the news here. So even though Grêmio is interested, like I said, Flamengo wouldn't negotiate him with Grêmio, that they would ask for absurd amounts to prevent Grêmio from signing him. So Everton Araújo should remain at Flamengo. The club is counting on the midfielder and plans to give him more playing time this year, especially since I said Flamengo will aim for a strong team in the Brasileirão, Libertadores, and Copa do Brasil. They're putting together two strong squads, two strong teams, a strong roster with two strong teams, right? This is crucial for Flamengo and Everton. Araújo, I see a lot of talent in the kid. My friends, it's today, huh? Today is your last chance. Besides securing points in the Million PIX Benefits Club, you have a real chance to win 2 million Rees. Man, it's clearly expensive. It's tough. Any prize is hard to win. But you buy points to exchange for products, experiences, and the chance to win instant prizes up to 100,000 Rees. The Raspol received a PIX transfer and 2 million Rees today. It's coming up soon today, January 2nd, and it's my son's birthday, right? Ortinho's 1-month anniversary is today, and you have the chance. So you're about to win, and there's this prize, right? It's fully regulated by SUSEP, and I want to remind you that this is serious business. Here, we only announce what's regulated, and we've been seeing a lot of things being talked about out there. Man, it's crazy. Here, at least you're buying points. It's a benefits club. And your main focus isn't winning prizes, but you can win. That's better for everyone, right? So, as always, we show up and say, guys, greetings, red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro-Negro channel. If you're new, please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe and enable notifications. Hit the bell and like the video. We're here thanks to our sponsors. In the pinned comment, in the description, and also in the pinned chat. Remember that the link will be there in the chat and in the pinned comment. And the QR code is on the screen for you to secure your million picks, man. There's a lot of information, a lot going on. We're in the middle of a sea of information. There's just a lot happening. The name Marcos Leonardo came up. I'll bring all the information here for you so that as we explain what's happening, you can understand. Because, man, yeah, I saw some information that Flamengo really gave up. And Roberti, subtitles by Thiago Anderson. It's not that Flamengo gave up. Flamengo didn't give up. Flamengo paused the deal. Subtitles by Thiago Anderson. Subtitles by Thiago Anderson. I have a lot of information about Marcos Leonardo. I'll share a lot with you. Subtitles by Anderson. Subtitles by Thiago. Subtitles by Thiago. Subtitles by Thiago Anderson. Look here. Subtitles by Thiago Anderson. The attack needs to improve. Leonardo's departure, subtitles by Thiago, subtitles by Thiago Anderson, revolves around 25 million euros, an amount considered accessible for the market. Even for Flamengo. Technically, Leonardo plays only as a center forward, while Nunes offers greater versatility, being able to play on the wings as well and adapt to different game situations. In addition, it is pointed out subtitles by Thiago Anderson, subtitles by Thiago Anderson. Subtitles by Thiago Anderson, subtitles Thiago, subtitles by Thiago Anderson, subtitles by Thiago Anderson, subtitles Thiago Anderson, subtitles by Thiago, subtitles Thiago Zanotto. Finally, the text highlights that the winter transfer window can be decisive, referencing past signings that influence titles, emphasizing this period is for strategic changes that can alter the season's direction. So Marcos Leonardo might be on his way out, and he could end up being signed by another Brazilian club, a direct competitor of Flamengo. Flamengo's deal with Caio Jorge didn't go through because Cruzeiro wanted Luis Araújo's name, and Flamengo isn't considering including Luis Araújo in the deal with Cruzeiro. For Caio Jorge, that's not an option, thank God, because Luis Araújo is special to me. Flamengo is still interested in the striker and was even considering raising the offer despite Cruzeiro's firm stance. But our information is that despite what Vene Casagrande reported, Flamengo will not increase the offer. What I was told is that it's a pause. We took some time to try to find this option in the market. Bruno Espindo even said that they would do everything to keep the player Caio Jorge. And Flamengo is taking this pause to look for another name in the market. This information comes from Vene and Raiza. Simplicio, Flamengo believes they've reached their negotiation limit and won't pursue Caio Jorge further. This source connected to Flamengo's board told me that actually they've reached their limit, yes, but it's just a pause. Flamengo won't give up. First, they'll try to look for this option in the market, and then it might even be that they'll consider a new situation. Because Filipe really wants a mobile and pressing striker like Caio Jorge. Flamengo's latest offer was 24 million euros plus Everton Cebolinha, valued at 8 million euros, totaling 32 million euros. The biggest signing, the biggest offer in the history of Brazilian football. And even though Arab journalists claim that Flamengo might go after Marcos Leonardo, this just came out now in the Arab press. A source close to the board confirms our information that the Al Hilal striker doesn't fit perfectly in the role Filipe Luis wants, which is exactly the difference he's looking for in Caio Jorge. So, in the club's view, Marcos Leonardo is more of a box striker, with characteristics closer to Pedro's. Flamengo is seeking players for every position, each with unique qualities. Vitão is different from Léo Pereira and Léo Ortiz Brazão. Flamengo is searching. Both Pedro Morisco and the team differ from Rossi. Flamengo is looking for these different players to have options. You see that Flamengo has even been looking for different midfielders. Carrascal is different from Arrascaeta. But Flamengo has been looking to have options to change matches, to change games. There are players who are better at heading. There are players who are better at long passes, at passing, and then you have options. So Marcos Leonardo is more of a box striker with characteristics closer to Pedro. And that's not what Filipe Luis is looking for in the market. He's looking for a player more in the style of Caio Jorge. Yes, still talking about this Cruzeiro and Flamengo situation, there was Pedrinho talking about signing Arrascaeta. Obviously it was. Jokingly, the owner of Cruzeiro's Sociedade Anônima do Futebol commented on the possibility of re-signing Arrascaeta. He says, not yet, but if Flamengo wants to sell him now, any team in Brazil would be interested. We brought Arrascaeta from Uruguay when no one knew him. Now he needs no introduction. I believe Flamengo shouldn't let him go. They will never let him go, right? He's an idol, right? He will end his career here, God willing, and hopefully not anytime soon. And man, Pedrinho's statement is really significant because he makes it clear that he can't compete with Flamengo for a signing or take a player away from Flamengo. When Flamengo tried to take Caio, Jorge actually shook things up for them. Like it or not, the player was unsettled, and Pedrinho even started negotiations. No, I don't want that. I'll sell if you offer 50. Flamengo won't accept any offers for Arrascaeta. There's no price. Flamengo simply refuses to sell. And he made it clear that there's no way to take Arrascaeta out of Flamengo. Yeah. Christie sent it, Flavio Beza, and us who want to be Cruzeiro, that's what he said. It's Pablo Rezende, my friend. Arasca is non-negotiable. It's Flavio Taxi Cruzeiro. One what in 2025? Are you trying to overprice KJ? To cover the loss, Cassiano, Roa Abreu will have to sell about 500 stores, 500 supermarkets, yeah? Igor, they're really going to be left wanting. Our Arasca, he's ours. It's Mateo Ribeiro. If we sell all the cattle, it still won't pay half of Arasca's release clause.
If we sell all the cattle, it still won't pay half of Arasca's release clause. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Fans really do have some great comebacks. Look, let me mention Gustavo Gomez here, right? In that series, Total Access, Cheirinho Total commented, right? About, look at that. The captain of Palmeiras explained the reason why the team from Sao Paulo stayed on the field while Flamengo lifted the Libertadores trophy. That was cool. Even they, Flamengo, watched the trophy presentation. When we won, I remember they did the same thing. That speaks well of them and of us too, because you shouldn't leave when you lose. It happened in Montevideo. They were respectful and stayed to watch. When we won the Libertadores, we did the same. That's what football should be, right? That's what the Paraguayan defenders said, right? Gustavo Gomez explaining the reason. They stayed on the field watching the trophy and medal ceremony for the Flamengo players. Okay. And, man, I think that's something that comes from there, from Jorge Jesus at Flamengo. Jorge Jesus would put the players there to feel it, to feel the defeat, to want to come back the next year to win. Flamengo does that a lot, and that's not even a reason to make fun of Palmeiras, because that's actually a reason for the guys to get motivated for the next season. Okay? I actually think that's positive, right? Positive, just like Gustavo Gomez himself said. I don't see that. I don't see a bad side to this whole thing about being there on the field watching, okay? Look, we have some information here. It's also important to bring up regarding Emerson Royal, the Turkish journalist Ekrem Konur. He brought this exclusively. Fiorentina and Valencia are monitoring the situation of right back Emerson Royal from Flamengo. With European interest increasing, transfer talks may accelerate in the coming days. So Fiorentina and Valencia, and I heard there's another team that might also make an offer, might inquire about Emerson Royal. Okay, so Fiorentina and Valencia are monitoring the situation of Flamengo's right back, increasing European interest. And we know that he gave an interview talking about the issue of the injury he had, playing while injured, hurt, and all that. And he believes he can have a really good year in 2026, okay? And man, I'm going to get some comments from the fans now so we can wrap up, get the fans' comments. And then regarding the situation about Caio Jorge, about Marcos Leonardo, the fans are out there reacting to this information. Yeah, Wellington Rocha is better than Caio Jorge and Marcos Leonardo, though Filipe prefers Caio Jorge's style. Is that so? Paulo Neto, will he be Marcos? He plays as a mobile number 9, scoring and assisting, and also as a second striker behind the number 9. In this case, it was Mitrovic. I agree. Okay, that's it. Although we know that the information that comes is from the soccer department, from sources connected to Flamengo's soccer department, they understand that it's different. Caio Jorge's role, who doesn't have that much mobility, is, well, guys, I'm just kidding. It must be because he scores goals, right? But that doesn't mean that Caio Jorge doesn't do that too, right? Yeah? Paulinho, in a 7-3 formation, you need a goal-scoring striker, not just someone who marks. Yeah, but it's also important to have the pressure. Okay, yeah, FS Lipius Caio Jorge is much better than him. I'm not understanding everyone's comments. And then the first Paulo MSC sent, it's not Marcos Leonardo, it's a player who's already gone. Whoa, it's Caio Jorge is much better. He's not here, right? Marcos Leonardo is a player who's already been tested more in his career. He's played on several teams and always played well. Wait, Caio Jorge too, right? Caio Jorge has also been around in football, but he's young. Just like Marcos Leonardo, Samuel said, Marcos Leonardo is much better than Caio Jorge. Okay, it's Fabio Elias. Do you want a new one? Plata, that must be it, right? Paulinho is 7-3, Hali Elias Ferreira. That's why Flamengo sometimes misses chances. It's because Marcos Leonardo could come for a much lower price than Caio Jorge. Okay. Marcos Roberto 392. 39 is Marcos Leonardo. He has the same characteristics as Pedro Hahaha. Who at Flamengo said that? I bet it was Boto, man. Of course, people are going to want to criticize Jose Boto when, actually, right? Filipe is the one who has the autonomy to make decisions there, right? Yeah. I know Marcos Leonardo is highly regarded by Flamengo, but Filipe wants a player who better fits his preferences. Along with Caio Jorge, I also see Marcos Leonardo, okay? Look, if I had to choose, for me, Caio Jorge isn't worth 50 or 30 million. He's worth 22 or 23 million. If it gets to that, that's why there are no offers. No, there are no offers over 20 million euros from Europe for Caio Jorge now, Ruberti. So if Europe thinks that Marcos Leonardo is worth 25, 30 and Caio Jorge is worth 20, is that the reality? Marcos Leonardo is more skilled. The return can be better with Marcos Leonardo, even for a resale later, a player who is an investment. Many say it's because he scores goals. So there's only Caio Jorge on the face of the earth. Silva Geraldo is... People are saying, man, he doesn't fit in, man. The guy would crush it and everything. People are complaining a lot about Flamengo preferring Caio Jorge and not Marcos Leonardo. To say that Marcos Leonardo doesn't fit this profile, to me, he really does fit the profile. You see, Filipe, to me, that's the player Flamengo needs. In fact, I think there's a much bigger gap. For you to make a profit at resale, then for you to actually have a profit, sometimes it might not even go through you. Filipe, I think he'll stay at Flamengo for another year or so. And Marcos Leonardo, if he comes to Flamengo after a year and a half or 2 years, they could already make a lot of money on a resale. Filipe may not still be here, but I hope he is and stays at Flamengo for 4 or 5 years. But it's because of the dream he talks about, his dream of coaching a team in Europe, so he might leave. I think after a year and a bit, 2 years, he'll already have those 3 years he needs to coach in Europe. That's why I'm saying this. Marcos Leonardo would be an investment for Flamengo to potentially make a big resale profit in a few years. Still young, so I honestly... Although Caio Jorge is young too, I think Marcos Leonardo has more potential to earn money, okay? That's my opinion. I wanted to know your opinion. I prefer Marcos Leonardo now, mainly due to Pedrinho's high price. Many fans also note that Marcos Leonardo costs less and we don't lose anything. Neither Luis Araújo nor Cebolinha, it's the money, it's the amount that Pedrinho wants for Caio Jorge, plus the 2 players or 1 from Flamengo. With Marcos Leonardo, it's not just about money. We get him and keep both Cebolinha and Luis Araújo. Do you agree? Comment below. Here, man, let me remind you that our pinned comment has the links. Haroldo's Caravan offers tickets to the Recopa Sudamericana, Supercopa, Copa do Brasil, Brasileirão, Libertadores, and Carioca in Rio de Janeiro, all with top section seats included. And then you get the best travel service for Flamengo games with Haroldo's Caravan. Besides that, our other sponsors are there in the pinned comment. A big hug, Jubilee greetings. This is Flamengo. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video. And take advantage because today there's the million fix. Products, experiences, and you can still win 2 million rees plus an instant prize of 100,000. So take advantage. It's today, million products prize.